I'm Robert Cossey. I'm the publisher of Canadian Contractor, and this is not Steve Payne, editor of Canadian Contractor. He's not with us today, but he will be with us for episode 2 of this 2-episode series on tape tips. We've got a bunch of tapes here. These are all mine. These are ones I use at various times. I want to show you 4 tips that I really like. First one, you've got to draw a straight line. You've got your ruler or your carpenter square in your bag. You don't want to drag it out. You're going to be able to draw a line with your tape, which is just by holding it on the piece of wood you're drawing the line on. It's a clean enough line, but if you want it a little tighter, then you can always take your tape and flip it upside down and lay it down on your piece and then draw it with the tape upside down and you get a better line. Tip number 2. Did you know that your tape measure was actually a slide rule? Now, this is a very cool tip. If you're terrible at math, as I am, you can use it as a slide rule. Let me explain that. Let's say you want to subtract 16 inches from 52 inches. Now that's pretty easy. You can probably do it in your head, but let me show you how you can do it on your tape measure. Find 52 inches on the tape measure. There's the 52. Just take the end of your tape measure and fold it towards the 52. Line it up with the 52. And now, when you look at the 16, which is right here, you can see right opposite the 16 is 36. And that's your answer. Let's say you've got something a little bit more complicated. You got 44 3/4, and you want to subtract 13 5/8 from that. You can go and look at the 13 5/8 mark, see what it lines up against, and it is lined up against the 31-inch mark. So there you go, 31 inches. Pretty cool, huh? All right, tip number 3. When you get a new tape, take the clip off it. You really don't need it. If you wear a belt, it'll slide into your belt a lot easier. It kind of makes things a little bit more convenient. The other thing you can do is I've seen some guys, they actually glue circular discs onto the side of the tape. And when you take the clip off, you can do that, and you use that disc where you can actually pencil in some numbers that you've measured or something like that. Just pencil them in on there, and they're usually easy to just rub off once you're done. So it's a nice place to just put a note on and put a measurement on without having to carry a little pad around. All right, now, here's something that's not really a tip, but it's probably something you didn't know. All the tapes now have a measurement for 19 3/8 inch centers. And you're thinking, why would I want that? Well, there's sometimes when you're using engineered joist, that's the spacing that's spec'd in the plans. And you think, okay, 19 3/8, how am I going to figure that out? By the way, 19 3/8 will give you 5 joists inside an 8-foot space. So it's a bit of a reduction from the typical 16-inch centers, and you can do that with engineered joists. That's why it's available, and that's why it's possible. That's why you might see it on a set of plans. You think, well, that's going to be hard to figure out after 19 3/8. What happens after that? Well, you don't have to figure it out, because almost all tapes now are manufactured today with the 19 3/8 inch centers already on there. So you can take a look at this tape, for instance. It's almost always a little diamond. Here, let me flip the tape around so it's right side up. It's 19 3/8, and then if you carry on the tape, you'll see the next one is at 38 6/8 or 3, whatever it is. That'll give you the centers that you need. So there you go. Take a look at your tape. I'll bet you they've got diamonds there. I bet you kind of noticed them, but you weren't sure what the heck they were for. That's what they're for. Listen, what we want to do in this particular episode is offer a $100 gas card to anybody who will send in a picture of their oldest functioning tape measure. Now, it's got to be a picture of you holding it. You can't just Google a picture of an old tape and throw it at us. We want to see you in the picture. But send us that picture, and we'll gather together the pictures that we get. We'll throw them in a bin, and we'll pull out your name and give you a $100 gas card. Next episode, we'll give you a couple more tips, and Steve will be back.